Okay, good morning. Topic for the today's discussion is cryptography. The objective of today's session is to introduce cryptography, to compare symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography, and third objective is to exemplify substitution ciphers, transposition ciphers and RSA. Okay. Let us see what is cryptography. No one can deny the importance of security in data communication and networking. Security in networking is based on cryptography. Security in networking is based on cryptography. Cryptography is the science and art of transforming messages to make them secure and immune to attack. Cryptography can provide several aspects of security related to the interchange of messages through network. Cryptography can provide several aspects of security related to the interchange of messages through networks. These aspects are confidentiality, integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. Cryptography can also be used to authenticate the sender and receiver of the message to each other. Cryptography, a word with Greek origins, means secret writing. Secret writing. However, we use the term to refer to the science and art of transforming messages to make them secure and immune to attack. Obviously, this is the ancient art. A number of examples may be found in the literature that in ancient days secret writing were being performed by using different mechanisms. Okay. Now let us see the different cryptographic components. Here there will be a sender at one side in the network and there will be a receiver at another side of the network. The message which will be transmitted from the sender will be considered as a plain text. Before transmission, some encryption mechanism should be applied to the plain text. Here there will be some algorithm, and after encryption the plain text will be converted into ciphertext, and that ciphertext will be transmitted on the channel or in the network medium, and at the receiver side there will be a decryption mechanism, and that decryption mechanism will decrypt the encrypted or ciphertext into the original plain text. The plain text is the original message before transformation. The ciphertext is the message after transformation. An encryption algorithm transforms plain text to a ciphertext. A decryption algorithm transforms ciphertext to plain text. Okay. A combination of an encryption algorithm and decryption algorithm is called a cipher. Encryption algorithm plus decryption algorithm is called a cipher. The key is a number or set of numbers on which cipher operates. We will see this in the following examples. The key is a number or set of numbers on which the cipher operates. Now, categories of cryptography. There are two basic categories of the cryptography: symmetric key cryptography, asymmetric key cryptography. In the symmetric key cryptography, there is a concept of secret key, and in the asymmetric key cryptography, there is a concept of public key. Okay. Now, first of all, let us see symmetric key cryptography. What is this? Symmetric key cryptography. In symmetric key cryptography, the same key is used by both parties. The same key is used by both parties, means sender and receiver will use the same key. The sender uses this key and encryption algorithm to encrypt the data. The receiver uses the same key and the corresponding decryption algorithm to decrypt the data. This can be depicted in a very nice way in this diagram. Alice wants to transmit some message, a plain text, to Bob, and there is a shared secret key, and that shared secret key will be used for encryption purpose as well as for decryption purpose. So plain text with shared secret key and encryption algorithm will be converted into ciphertext, and at the receiver side, with the help of shared secret key and decryption algorithm, the ciphertext will be converted into original plain text. Now, asymmetric key cryptography. In asymmetric or public key cryptography, there are two keys, a private key and a public key. The private key is kept by the receiver. In the next figure, we will see this. Imagine Alice wants to send a message to Bob. Alice uses the public key to encrypt the message. Alice uses the public key to encrypt the message. When the message is received by Bob, the private key is used to decrypt the message. This can be nicely understood with the use of this diagram. There are two keys. One is public key and Bob's public key, and that will be shared publicly, and that can be also be accessed by Alice. And this is the Bob's private key, and that can be used by Bob's only for decryption purpose. When Alice wants to transmit some plain text to Bob, so before transmission, the plain text will be encrypted with some suitable algorithm at the sender side with the use of this public key into ciphertext, and at the receiver end, that ciphertext will be decoded with some decrypting algorithm or decryption algorithm with Bob's private key, and that will be converted into original plain text. In public key encryption oblique decryption, the public key that is used for encryption is different. Condition is that public key and private key should be different. The public key that is used for encryption is different from the private key that is used for decryption. The public key is available to the public. The private key is available only to an individual. Public key is available to the public. The private key is available only to an individual. Okay. Let us compare symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. Let us compare symmetric key and asymmetric key cryptography. Encryption can be thought of as electronic locking. Decryption as electronic unlocking. Locking and unlocking mechanism. The sender puts the message in a box and locks the box by using a key. The receiver unlocks the box with a key and takes out the message. The difference lies in the mechanism of the locking and unlocking and the type of keys used. In symmetric key cryptography, the same key locks and unlocks the box. Same key is used for locking and unlocking purpose. But in asymmetric key cryptography, one key locks the box and another key is needed to unlock it. Figure on the next slide shows the difference. Here, Alice wants to transmit some plain text to Bob. Before transmission, it locks with shared common keys, and at the receiver side, Bob unlocks the ciphertext with the use of same shared common keys. In the case of asymmetric key cryptography, for locking purpose, different keys being used, shown in pink color, and for unlocking purpose, different keys being used, shown in black color. Okay. Now let us see symmetric key cryptography and the different traditional ciphers. And we can categorize traditional ciphers into substitution ciphers and transposition ciphers. And under this substitution ciphers, there will be a monoalphabetic and polyalphabetic. So we will discuss with suitable examples just now. What is substitution cipher? We will discuss in context to monoalphabetic. A substitution cipher replaces one symbol with another. A substitution cipher replaces one symbol with another. For example, we are given a plain text hello, 1 2 3 4 5 characters are there, and these 5 characters has been replaced by some other characters 1 2 3 4 5 in the form of ciphertext. And what is the algorithm here? We can see here H I J K means 2 letter next. It is H, then left I J K will be there. E F G, leave F G and come to H. O, leave P Q, come to R. This is the algorithm. The question is, the following shows as plain text and its corresponding ciphertext. Question is the cipher monoalphabetic? The answer is yes. Since LL, there are two L, and those two L's are being replaced with two O's. The cipher is probably monoalphabetic because both occurrence of L's are encrypted as O's. L is being replaced with O's only. If two L's will be replaced with two different symbols, then that will be polyalphabetic. It is monoalphabetic. L will be replaced with only O. L will be replaced with only O. Okay. In the case of polyalphabetic, what are we seeing here? Here we have two L's, and one L is being replaced with N, and one L is being replaced with Z. Polyalphabetic. The following shows a plain text and its corresponding ciphertext. Is the cipher monoalphabetic? The answer is no. Solution: the cipher is not monoalphabetic because each occurrence of L is encrypted by different characters. The first L is encrypted as N, the second as Z. In a polyalphabetic cipher, each occurrence of a character may have different substitute. In monoalphabetic, we have single substitute, same substitute. Okay. Now let us see shift cipher. The shift cipher is sometimes referred to as seizure cipher. What is shift cipher? Example: use the shift cipher with key 15 to encrypt the message hello. What will the solution? We encrypt one character at a time. Each character is shifted 15 characters down. Letter H is encrypted to W. Letter E is encrypted to T. The first L is encrypted to A. The second L is also encrypted to A, and O is encrypted to D. the ciphertext is WTAAD. If you will count from A to Z, 26 characters are there. Starting from H, proceed to 15 characters next. Okay. Transposition cipher. A transposition cipher reorders, here this word is very important, reorders or permutes symbol in a block of symbols. Let us see the basic mechanism. There is a plain text, reorder, downward direction, ciphertext, reorder upward direction, plain text. In this case, there is a key. Suppose we are given a character of block of 4 characters, character 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in the case of encryption, character 1 will be replaced with character number 3, 2 with character 1, 3 with character 4, and 4 with character number 2. In the case of decryption, the reverse process will be performed. Let us see with suitable example. Encrypt the message hello my dear using the key shown in the previous slide figure above. So first of all, we need to convert the given message into blocks of 4 characters. For that, first we first remove the space in the message. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then there is a space, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. 11 characters are there, excluding space. We first remove the space in the message. We then divide the text into blocks of 4 characters. We add a bogus character Z. Since we have 11 characters only, that's why we require 12 character to make 3 blocks of 4 characters at the end of the third block. The result is hell, first block, OMYD, OMY and this D, second block, and EAR. There is only 3 characters, that's why Z will be included here, ERZ. Result is hell, first block, OMYD, second block, and ERZ, third block. We create a 3 block ciphertext something. We create a 3 block ciphertext. This one, LH, LEY, YODMREZA. How? This is the first. In the first block, we will consider hell. Here, encryption. In the case of encryption, 1 will be replaced with third character. H will be, if I say that, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this first character will be replaced with L. First character will be replaced with L. And second character will be replaced with first character. Second character E will be replaced with H. This one. And third character will be replaced with fourth character. This L will be replaced with this L. And fourth character will be replaced with second character, and the second character is E. This one. In the same way, OMYED will be encrypted in the form of YODM. In the same way, ERZ will be converted into REZA. And this cipher text can be decrypted by using the same procedure. 1 will be replaced with 2. Position number 1 character will be replaced with 2, 2 with 4, and 3 with 1, and 4 with 3. Okay. Now let us see the asymmetric key cryptography. An asymmetric key or public key cipher uses 2 keys, one private and one public. 2 algorithms are very common, RSA and Diffie-Hellman algorithms. In the today's discussion, we will see the RSA algorithm with suitable example. The most common public key algorithm is RSA, named for its inventor, Rivest, Shamir and Alderman. R S R S and A. It uses two numbers E and D as public and private key. E as public key, this will be announced, and D as private keys, this will be kept confidential at the receiver side, as shown in the next slide. E is the public key and D as the private key. Alice wants to send some message to Bob. Before transmission, that will be encrypted by using this public key and by applying some encryption algorithm, and that will be converted to ciphertext, and at the receiver side that will be decrypted or decoded by using some decryption algorithm, means in this case RSA, and that will be ultimately converted into original plain text. In RSA, E and N are announced. E and N are announced to the public, and D and Phi are kept secret. D and Phi are kept secret. This will be shown below. Let us see how the keys are selected. Bob used the following step to select the private and public keys. Bob chooses two very large prime numbers P and Q, large prime numbers P and Q. Remember that a prime number is one that can be divided evenly by 1 and itself. In this discussion, we are considering that P is 7 and Q is 11. Obviously, this is a small number, and that's why security will not be ensured. But to understand it better, we are taking some small numbers. But it is preferred to keep or take the large prime numbers. P is equal to 7 and Q is equal to 11. Bob multiplies the two prime numbers to find N. N is what? N is the multiplication of P and Q. We are considering P as 7, Q as 7, that's why N is equal to 7 multiplied 1, 11 is equal to 77. The modulus for encryption and decryption, in other words, N is equal to P multiplied by Q. Bob calculates another number Phi. We are talking here about Phi. This Phi is this one. And Phi is calculated as P minus 1 multiplied by Q minus 1. So in this case, 7 minus 1 multiplied by 11 minus 1, that is 6 multiplied by 10, that is 60. Bob is free to choose any prime values of P and Q, and that P will decide N, and that N will value of P and Q also decide Q based on N, and the value of N and Q will be decided based on the value chosen for P and Q. Okay. Bob chooses a random integer E. Again Bob chooses a random integer E. He then calculates D so that E multiplied by D modulo Phi is equal to 1. If E is equal to 13, Bob chooses E is equal to 13. Then 13 multiplied by D modulo 16 is equal to 1. In this case, when we will calculate this, D will be 37. This will be the one of the solution. We may find a number of solutions. So in this case, D will be 37. Bob announces E and N to the public. E is 13 and N is 77. N is 13, means 77 will be announced, and this 13 will be announced. Bob announces E and D to the public. He keeps D secret. E is equal to 13 and N is equal to 77, that will be public, and that will be announced, and D will be 37, that will be a private. Now Bob chooses 7 and 11 as P and Q and calculates n is equal to 7 multiplied by 11, 77. The value of F will be 7 minus 1 into 11 minus 1, that will be 60. F means here we are taking this as 5. Now he chooses two keys E and D. If he chooses E to be 13, then D will be 37, as we have seen previously. Now imagine Alice sends the plain text 5 to Bob. She uses the public key 13 to encrypt 5. In that case, Alice writes C is equal to 5 multiplied by 5 to the power 13 here. Original message is 5 and E is 13. E is 13. Okay. C is equal to 5 to the power 13, and this will be equal to 26 mod 77, and the cipher text will be 26. After calculation, this can be seen. Okay. Bob receives the cipher text 27 and uses the private key 37 to decipher the text. Cipher text will be 26 and P will be 26 to the power 37, that will be 5 mod 77, and Bob will receive plain text as 5. The plain text 5 sent by Alice is received as plain text 5 by Bob. Okay. Now let us summarize the discussion for the today's. We have introduced cryptography. We have compared symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography, and we have exemplified substitution ciphers, transposition ciphers, and RSA. Okay, that's all for today.